Coding interviews are notoriously hard. They're made to test your technical abilities on the spot with no Googling, no looking up syntax, nothing. Today, we're going to go over a few steps you can take to prepare for these interviews and make sure you pass it on your first try. My name is Carlo. I have my master's in computer science and I'm a software consultant. I've been through plenty of these technical interviews, failed some, passed some. I know what I did right and what I did wrong, and I feel like I'm qualified to give you tips on how you can correct certain errors and make sure you're properly prepared for everything they might throw at you. So before we get started, if you could subscribe, it would mean a lot, and it'll also show you any videos that I have coming out. A lot of them will be pertaining to passing interviews and coding tutorials in general. So that being said, let's get on with the video. So I would say the first step to take is a complete shift in mindset. You have to accept that this process is bullshit. It's just how it is. They're going to ask you problems that you've never seen before. You have no reason to have ever learned them through school, and you have to learn them and you have to be able to solve them exactly the way they want them. It's just how it is. Everyone has to do it. It just checks and sees if you're smart or not. It's nothing you'd really use on the job, but there is ways of preparing for it, and we're going to go into that more in the next few steps. So now that we know we have to play by their rules, we can actually go on a site called Glassdoor, find the position you're interviewing for, and they will often list the question that they were asked in the interview. These are real people that were in the interview, and they'll often list the question that they were asked. So you can go on Glassdoor, find the position you applied for, and then find the question. So now that we know the question, we can then head over to LeetCode. And for those who don't know, this is a website that has a bunch of programming problems on here, and it lets you compile and submit your solution through the website. But here's the thing. A lot of these companies are actually pulling their questions for interviews right from LeetCode. So you can grab these questions from Glassdoor, go search for them on LeetCode, and then you will be able to find them right there. And the thing is too, there's a lot of people that are using LeetCode, and there's a discussion board for every question, and you can see multiple people's solutions, and a lot of times there'll be comments in there explaining how they did it and different ways you can approach it. So this part's a real kick to the nuts, unfortunately. Just solving the problem is not good enough for most companies. They want you to solve it in a certain time-space complexity. And that being said, if you're fresh out of school, at least when I was fresh out of school, I didn't know anything about that. So in order to do that, go into the discussions on the LeetCode problems as previously stated, and go in, and you'll have to look for the most optimal solutions. They'll usually put it in the title, and study these hard and make sure you understand it in and out, because just simply brute forcing the problem is not going to cut it for a lot of companies. So now that we have the technical question out of the way, of course, there's other parts to the interview besides the technical question. And I would say one of the most important steps is be ready to talk about the projects on your resume in depth. Chances are you spent a lot of time on them, so you know them pretty well inside and out. And that's really good because they're really interested in hearing it, and they want to hear passion in your voice, and they want you to explain, trials and tribulations, some of the features you're proud of that took the most time to implement, or something you were really happy when you figured out. They love hearing that stuff, and that's what will make them want to hire you, because they want someone who's excited for the job. Not only that they can do it, but someone who's going to be excited and looking forward to reaching solutions. So be ready to talk about your projects and all the problems that you had with it and how you were able to overcome them. And the last step I have for you is be confident. This is very important. If you are nervous, they will weed you out immediately. They are like wolves. They will smell your fear and tear you apart. I am not kidding. You need to either be confident or at least pretend to be confident and be able to play it off and just really get up there and exert the fact that you know what you're doing, or at least you're pretending you know what you're doing. So it really does make a big difference. And companies don't want someone who's hesitant and nervous and doesn't have faith in themselves to be able to complete tasks. So all of these tips have been derived from errors that I made on my interview, and I followed up and emailed them and asked them what I did wrong. And that's how this list was compiled. So it was either I didn't know the question enough, I didn't do it optimally, I didn't talk about my projects in depth, I didn't know enough about them. And for the first few, I just was not confident. So that being said, I really hope this helped. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this, and thanks a lot. See you guys in the next video.